But do you think the guy that is struggling, holding down those 3 part-time jobs, you think he thinks we got a strong labor market? You think he's happier and better off, with these 3 jobs, juggling 3 jobs, driving back and forth, no benefits at low wages? You think he's happier now with those 3 jobs than he was when he had one job, one good job at Meta? I don't think so. But that's the Biden economy. That's Bidenomics in a nutshell. Anyway, we got a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. I got more to talk about, so don't go anywhere. Now that I'm 60 years old, health and longevity are one of my primary concerns. I've done a lot of research into the subject, and I've even created my own wellness and longevity center in my own house. Part of my daily routine includes red light therapy, which improves health and promotes longevity by regulating stem cell activity, reducing inflammation, and boosting immune system functions. Red light therapy has also been shown to improve skin health by reducing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles and improving skin texture. Light therapy, in particular red and infrared, have been shown to reduce joint pain and inflammation, improve your range of motion, and speed up muscle recovery. Red light therapy is believed to help alleviate symptoms of depression and anxiety by increasing your levels of serotonin, a neurotransmitter responsible for regulating mood. Red light therapy minimizes oxidative stress by rebalancing the levels of free radicals and antioxidants in your body. It also boosts the generation of ATP, the cellular energy source within the mitochondria. This enhances your energy metabolism, leading to improved cellular repair, tissue regeneration, and increased vitality. And finally, red light therapy has even been shown to promote hair growth. Now, there are a lot of products on the market. Some are offered at lower prices and may seem like relative bargains, but they don't deliver the type of radiance and frequencies that are required to be effective. While other products do have the required quality, they are vastly overpriced. When doing my research, I found that Neoscience produced the highest quality beds at the most reasonable price. I own the Neolite bed. It's their top-of-the-line product, but they also have less expensive options if cost is an issue. Plus, I've negotiated some generous discounts on all their products exclusively for my audience. Just go to neolitebed.com and sign up to lock in one of these exclusive offers today. That's neolitebed.com. All right, so I'm talking about the non-farm payroll reports. One of the other dichotomies in this report, right, disparities or whatever is the best word, oddities, outliers, but is that the number of workers, or the workers who got jobs, and I got this off of the Zero Hedge website. I might as well plug them because they put out a lot of good stuff today on the jobs report, stuff that the mainstream media completely ignores. Right? They just focused on the headline beat. They don't dig beneath the surface at all because they have no incentive to do that. They want to continue to pretend that everything is great, and so they don't want to look beneath the surface to find evidence that would contradict that narrative. But on Zero Hedge, they pointed out that in the past couple of months, there was a huge collapse in the jobs that were held by American-born workers. They say 1.9 million in the past 2 months. But what's, I think, more significant is that according to Zero Hedge, and I'm sure they're right, all the job gains since June of 2018 have gone to foreign-born workers. Now, what are the odds of that, right? If these were just normal jobs that were being created. Now, there are a lot of legal Americans that are here, first generation, that were born in other countries and legally came here. But they're a small percentage of the overall population. I mean, most Americans at this day and age were actually born in America. You know, I'm third generation, or second generation rather. My father and mother, they were first generation born in America. None of my grandparents were born in America. But I'm 60. You know, my kids now are third generation. They're all born in America. But, you know, there's probably not that many people in the workforce today because most people who are working are probably under 60. They're, 25 to, 65. But, people in my age are a smaller part. So the vast majority of people working will have been born in America, right? For legal, people that work illegally. So if all these jobs have gone to foreign-born workers, what does that tell you? Well, it tells you that most of them went to illegals. Because what workers are foreign-born? It's the illegals. And it's the illegals that are also likely to take the lower-paying part-time or full-time jobs that native-born Americans don't want. And so one of the reasons that maybe we have so many jobs being created is because we have so many people illegally coming across the border and taking these jobs, right? So that, that's part of the secret to the success of Bidenomics, is that all these illegals are coming in and getting jobs. Now, of course, I'm not upset that illegals are coming here and working. I don't like the ones that come here and don't work, the ones that go on welfare or commit crimes. If you come here and work an honest day, well, that's fine. You're contributing to the economy because you're contributing your labor. You're doing work that Americans won't do, which is unfortunate that they won't do it. Maybe the government has just given them a better deal, and so they don't do the job. But again, that shows you where these jobs are. This is not a strong economy. We're creating lots of low-paying jobs that most Americans don't even want. I mean, they're losing the full-time jobs. The people who are losing their jobs are native-born Americans, right? That's why you're seeing this huge collapse in the number of American workers who have jobs, because the job losses are heavily concentrated in full-time jobs. And those are the jobs that were held by Americans. But again, that also helps explain the low popularity or high unpopularity of Biden. Because when they're polling voters, they're polling legal Americans, because the illegals can't vote. I mean, at least legally. I mean, maybe they still find a way to vote for the Democrats, but I don't know if they show up in these polls, because supposedly they're polling registered voters, and you can't really register to vote if you're not a legal American. And so if it's the legal Americans, the registered voters who have lost all these full-time jobs, that's why Biden is so unpopular. Or another reason he's so unpopular. You've got all these job losses and you've got high inflation. And even when I see these Democrats on television, they're asked to kind of explain, why Biden is so unpopular when the economy is so great, because they talk about how great the economy is, and then when they're finished talking up the economy, they'll be asked, well, but why is Biden not getting any credit? They'll say, well, because food is so much more expensive than it used to be, and other prices have gone up. Well, yes, that means the economy isn't good. A good economy makes goods more affordable, not less affordable. You can't talk about how great the economy is and then acknowledge that the cost of living has gone way up and that prices have gone up more than wages. That's not a good economy. In a good economy, wages go up more than other prices, right? That's like the definition. Or they acknowledge, well, real wages are falling. How can you talk about a strong labor market? Oh, we got this strong labor market when real wages are going down. That's a sign of a weak labor market. And again, a labor market where people are losing their full-time jobs can't possibly be a strong market. Where people are forced to hobble together multiple low-paying jobs to barely make ends meet, and they still don't earn enough, and they have to rely on debt and credit cards and other forms of consumer loans when they're drowning and their savings are depleted. How can you talk about a strong labor market or a strong economy? It's all a bunch of BS. And that's exactly what today's number was. Now, I want to talk about the market reaction to the number, because initially the stock market sold off a bit because, oh no, we got the strong labor number, so we're not going to get the March rate cut. Although the Fed, Powell, already took that off the table on Wednesday. So this wasn't new news, because Powell had already said we're not going to cut rates in March, and this kind of, validates that. But I think what everybody is now thinking is, okay, so we don't get the rate cuts in March. We get the rate cuts in May. I mean, big deal. So we wait 2 more months, but the Fed's still going to cut. And so I think the initial negative response in the stock market, people just bought. I think the beats in Amazon and Meta were just, driving the market higher. And even though Apple missed, that was the one big tech company that missed, it was initially down about 3%, but they rallied that stock. I mean, it didn't close positive, but it was barely down, and it closed on, near the high of the day. The Dow Jones closed at a record high. S&P, NASDAQ, the only big index that didn't hit a new high was the Russell 2000. That index was down on the day, but the markets don't care, right? They just think it's inevitable that we're going to get these rate cuts, and that's all that matters. We're going to get rate cuts, and they don't really care about what the job numbers are. They just assume we're going to get these cuts, and they're probably right. We're probably going to get the cuts, and so that's all they care about. Now, the bond market got clobbered. It was down in the morning, and it was down all day. There was no recovery in the bond market. We had a big backup in yields. But remember, yields are still considerably below their peaks. Remember, the yield on the 10-year and the 30-year were above 5% earlier last year, middle of last year. And now we're barely back above 4% on the 10-year. The 30-year is at 4.227, and the 5-year is pretty much bang on 4%, just below. That was up to 5% also, the 5-year. So we're still way below the high point. But I think we're going to make new highs in yield because I think that inflation is coming back in a big, big way, as I've been talking about. Now, the gold market, though, got hammered. At one point, I think it was down maybe $25, $27 would have been about the low. But we closed considerably off the lows.